Hi, welcome to Solinteg Academy. This training covers the M2HT Hybrid Inverter, our 25 to 50 kilowatt series designed for commercial and industrial applications. This is the second generation of our light commercial range, and it brings a new level of intelligence and performance to the market. Let's dive in. Here's a quick look at what we'll cover today. We'll start with a product overview, then walk through the key parameters and compatible battery options. Let's start with a quick overview of the M2HT series and what makes it stand out. The M2HT is built around four core strengths. Starting with power, it supports up to 200% PV oversizing, delivers 150 amps of charge and discharge current, and can handle 150% peak output power for up to 10 seconds. It also supports 100% unbalanced output and multiple unit paralleling, making it well suited for larger C&I sites. On the smart side, the inverter switches between on-grid and off-grid in under 10 milliseconds, fast enough that most loads won't even notice. It comes with a built-in EMS offering 6 preset operating modes, time of use scheduling, smart load management, and even automatic dynamic pricing strategies. For user-friendliness, commissioning is done quickly via Bluetooth, and both installers and end users can monitor and control the system remotely through the Integ Hub app and Solinteg platform. The OLED display and 4 physical buttons make on-site operation straightforward. And when it comes to security, the M2HT comes with Type 2 surge protection on both AC and DC sides, an IP66 rating for indoor and outdoor use, an emergency stop function, and more than 10 built-in protection mechanisms. We'll go deeper into each of these areas as we move through the training. Now let's look at how the M2HT series improves on its predecessor, the first generation of 25 to 50 kilowatt hybrid inverter. The upgrades are meaningful across the board. PV terminal input current increases from 15 amps to 20 amps, supporting the connection with some higher power PV panels. Battery voltage range expands from 135 to 750 volts, up to 150 to 840 volts, which opens up compatibility with a wider range of battery configurations. Battery charge and discharge, current steps up from 100 amps to 150 amps, a 50% increase that translates directly into faster charging and greater peak power delivery for the end user. On the grid side, AC input power support doubles from 120% up to 200%, allowing the system to maximize energy intake during off-peak, low-tariff periods to benefit the end user. Ingress protection also improves from IP65 to IP66, offering better resistance to water ingress for both indoor and outdoor installations. And the M2HT25-50K adds support for half-wave loads, something the previous generation didn't offer, broadening the range of real-world commercial equipment it can power reliably. The second generation M2HT is a more powerful, more versatile, and more secure platform. It's built to handle a wider range of C&I scenarios, and to do so with greater reliability and confidence. Let's take a look at the first scenario: a single inverter setup. A single M2HT25-50K inverter can serve as the heart of a complete commercial energy storage system. It connects to the solar array, the battery, and both on-grid and backup loads, all in one integrated solution. A smart meter is installed to monitor overall energy flow and ensure accurate, real-time data for the EMS to work with. For sites that need greater storage capacity, the M2HT supports battery parallel solution, scaling energy storage without adding another inverter. The system also supports EV charger integration, giving businesses a smart way to leverage solar generation and low-tariff grid electricity to charge vehicles, reducing operating costs further. And for sites where power reliability is critical, a generator can be added as a backup power source, ensuring the system keeps running even during extended grid outages or emergencies. For sites that need even more power, the M2HT supports on-grid and off-grid parallel system, connecting up to 10 inverters together. With a 50 kilowatt unit at each position, that means the system can scale up to 500 kilowatts in total output capacity, making it a genuinely competitive solution for larger commercial and industrial sites. In a parallel setup, each inverter independently connects to its own PV array and battery bank. The AC output and backup ports from all inverters are then paralleled together through the Solinteg backup box, which ensures safe and reliable switching between on-grid and off-grid operation across the entire system. The backup box also enables the parallel system to support high-power backup loads, so critical equipment keeps running even during a grid outage. A smart meter is installed at the grid connection point to monitor overall energy flow, and an ATS, or automatic transfer switch, can be added to integrate a generator as an additional backup power source when needed. The M2HT also supports AC-coupled configurations, making it an ideal solution for sites that already have an existing on-grid inverter installed, whether that's a Solinteg unit or a third-party brand. For systems using a third-party on-grid inverter, an RMK smart meter can be added to capture the inverter's generation data and feed it directly into the Integ Hub platform, giving the end user a complete, unified view of their system's performance. When the on-grid inverter is a Solinteg unit, the system can be taken a step further by adding the RML 1000 data logger. This unlocks a higher level of system intelligence and control. The data logger acts as the central hub for the entire system. It connects to the Solinteg cloud for 24-hour remote monitoring and enables system-wide export power limitation, an important requirement in many grid markets. For installers, the RML 1000 also simplifies the design of larger parallel systems, and from a compliance and safety perspective, it adds support for DRED and RCR grid demand response connections, as well as an emergency stop function. It's worth noting that this AC-coupled solution applies to on-grid parallel scenarios only. Beyond its core system capabilities, the M2HT also offers flexible generator integration, an important feature for sites where grid reliability is a concern. The M2HT has a dedicated DG port built directly into the unit. In a single inverter setup, the generator can be connected straight to this port without any additional hardware, keeping the installation clean and straightforward. For parallel systems, or where greater flexibility is needed, the generator can alternatively be connected on the grid side through an ATS. This arrangement allows the generator to supply power to all loads in the system when there is a power outage. In both cases, the M2HT supports multiple methods of generator control, so installers can configure the system to start and stop the generator automatically based on battery SOC or grid availability. The system can also use the generator to charge the battery directly, ensuring that every unit of fuel is used as efficiently as possible. For the end user, this means lower energy costs, greater resilience, and a system that intelligently manages all available energy sources – solar, battery, grid, and generator – to optimize their bills and keep their business running. Now, let's take a look at the key parameters. The unit measures 919 millimeters wide, 739 millimeters tall, and 305 millimeters deep, with a weight of 89 kilograms. For installers, it's worth planning the mounting arrangement in advance and ensuring adequate support is in place before installation. On the front panel, the M2HT features a clean, intuitive interface. The breathlight gives an at-a-glance indication of the inverter's operating status, useful for quickly checking the system without opening any app or dashboard. Dedicated grid and communication indicators let the installer or technician immediately see whether the unit is connected to the grid and communicating correctly. Below that sits an OLED display paired with 4 physical buttons. This is a genuinely practical feature, especially on sites with poor Wi-Fi coverage or in off-grid environments where remote access isn't available. Installers can navigate through key settings and perform necessary configurations directly from the unit itself without needing a phone or laptop. For on-site installation, this saves time and removes a common point of frustration. Now let's walk through the bottom terminals of the M2HT. Starting from the left, the battery terminal connects the battery bank to the inverter with DC switch 1 and 2, providing isolation for the PV strings connected to MPPT inputs 1 and 2. Moving across, there are 4 MPPTs, each includes 2 PV inputs, followed by DC switch 3 and 4 for the remaining strings. COM1 is the communication module port used for connecting the communication dongles. Next to that is the on-grid output port. The backup output port sits beside it, dedicated to powering critical backup loads during a grid outage. COM2 and COM3 are multifunctional communication connectors used for battery communication, smart meter, parallel connections, and other system integrations. And finally, the generator input port allows direct connection of a DG unit in a single inverter setup. Now, let's look at the DC side parameters across the M2HT range. The series covers 5 models from 25 to 50 kilowatts, with recommended maximum PV input power scaling accordingly, from 50 kilowatts on the 25K model up to 100 kilowatts on the 50K. That reflects the 200% DC oversizing capability, allowing installers to maximize solar harvest without oversizing the inverter itself. The inverter starts up at just 135 volts and operates across a wide voltage range of 200 to 950 volts, giving installers significant flexibility in string design. Each unit features 4 independent MPPT trackers, each PV input accepting up to 20 amps, and each MPPT can accept up to 40 amps of input current, well suited for larger arrays with mixed orientations or partial shading. On the battery side, the M2HT supports lithium batteries with BMS across a voltage range of 150 to 840 volts and delivers up to 150 amps of charge and discharge current across all models. Maximum charge and discharge power matches the inverter rating. With a maximum input current of 20 amps per PV terminal, it is designed to work with today's high-output solar panels, including the latest PERC, TOPCON, HJT, IBC. Each MPPT tracker combines 2 PV inputs, giving a combined maximum of 40 amps per MPPT. This means installers have genuine flexibility when designing the array, fewer constraints on string sizing, and the ability to fully utilize the output of high-current modern panels without leaving performance on the table. Having 4 independent MPPTs gives installers much greater freedom when designing the solar array. Panels facing different orientations can each be connected to their own MPPT, ensuring each string is tracked and optimized independently rather than one underperforming string dragging down the rest. The wide MPPT voltage range of up to 850 volts also adds to this flexibility, accommodating a variety of string configurations across different roof layouts or ground mount designs. And for sites with partial shading, the M2HT's shadow scan function works alongside the independent MPPTs to minimize the impact of shading on overall system output, protecting the end user's energy yield even in less than ideal conditions. Now for the AC side parameters. On the grid side, rated output power runs from 25 kilowatts up to 50 kilowatts across the range. A key highlight here is the support for up to 200% grid-side AC input power, meaning the system can draw up to twice the inverter's rated capacity from the grid during low tariff periods to charge the battery and supply loads simultaneously. On the backup side, the rated output matches the inverter's grid-side power rating with the added benefit of 150% peak output power for up to 10 seconds. This handles the high inrush currents that motors and compressors typically demand at startup, protecting both the loads and the system. And when the grid goes down, switching to backup mode happens in under 10 milliseconds, fast enough that most equipment won't even notice the transition. For generator input, it supports up to 100% of the inverter's rated power, ensuring the generator can be fully utilized without any derating. In a 3-phase commercial installation, load distribution across the 3 phases is rarely perfectly balanced. The M2HT addresses this with full 100% unbalanced output support, meaning it can dynamically adjust its output on each phase independently, rather than being constrained to balanced 3-phase delivery. This is particularly useful in 3 scenarios. First, where electricity is billed per phase, the inverter can target output where it's needed most, directly reducing the bill. Second, in regions with individual phase feed-in limitations, the unbalance function helps keep each phase within the export limit while still maximizing self-consumption. And third, for sites where the existing AC breaker can't accommodate future single-phase high-power loads, the unbalance capability removes the need to upgrade the breaker, saving the end user both cost and disruption. The function works across all operating conditions, during the day with PV, battery, and grid all available, as well as at night running on battery and grid alone. Also, this function can be used both in single-unit system and paralleled system. The M2HT supports smart load management, allowing the system to intelligently control SG-ready compatible heat pumps and other smart loads based on real-time energy availability. The system offers flexible control options to suit different market conditions. In regions without export power limitations, excess solar energy that would otherwise be fed to the grid can instead be redirected to power smart loads, making full use of available generation. In markets where export limits apply, the system can draw on stored battery power to run smart loads, avoiding curtailment while still maximizing self-consumption. Beyond that, users can schedule smart load operation across different time periods, particularly useful in markets with peak and off-peak tariffs, where running high-consumption loads during cheap rate hours can make a meaningful difference to the energy bill. And as always, manual control is available when needed. The M2HT is designed to meet the growing demand for larger battery capacity in C and I applications. With a battery voltage range of 150 to 840 volts and a maximum charge and discharge current of 150 amps, it pairs well with the 280 ampere-hours and 314 ampere-hour cells commonly used in commercial projects today, delivering strong system performance at a 0.5 C rate. The wide voltage range also means the system can support up to 16 battery racks in a single string at 51.2 volts nominal, giving installers the flexibility to scale storage capacity to match the site's energy demands without adding complexity. The M2HT delivers a peak efficiency of 97.8%, an industry-leading figure that means more of the energy generated by the solar array actually reaches the load or the battery, directly benefiting the end user's return on investment. With an IP66 rating, the unit is fully sealed against dust and water ingress, making it suitable for both indoor and outdoor installation without compromise, an important consideration for C&I sites where the inverter may be wall-mounted in exposed locations. And despite its power class, the M2HT operates at under 65 decibels, comparable to a typical household appliance. For commercial sites where the inverter is installed near occupied spaces, this level of quiet operation makes a genuine difference to the working environment. When it comes to keeping a commercial site safe and operational, the M2HT is built with 3 key protections in mind. First, the sub-10 millisecond on/off-grid switching time means that when the grid goes down, backup power kicks in almost instantaneously, fast enough that sensitive equipment and critical loads experience no meaningful interruption. Second, Type 2. Surge protection devices are built into both the AC and DC sides of the inverter. This guards the system against voltage spikes caused by lightning or grid disturbances, a real concern for rooftop and outdoor commercial installations. And third, an emergency stop function allows AC output to be shut down immediately when needed, giving site operators a fast, reliable response in the event of an on-site emergency. Together, these features mean the end user can have genuine confidence in their system, whatever the weather and whatever the circumstances. The high efficiency of the M2HT starts from the inside. Its DC/DC circuit uses silicon carbide MOSFETs, a more advanced switching technology compared to the traditional IGBTs found in many inverters. What does that mean in practice? SiC MOSFETs generate significantly less heat during operation. Thermal losses are around 70% lower than IGBTs. Less heat means less energy wasted, lower cooling demands on the unit, and ultimately a more efficient and reliable system over its lifetime. SiC also handles high temperatures exceptionally well, with a maximum operating temperature of up to 200 degrees Celsius. For a commercial inverter that may be installed in a warm outdoor environment or an enclosed plant room, this resilience translates directly into consistent performance and long-term reliability regardless of the conditions on site. The M2HT comes with a built-in energy management system, no additional controller required. It offers 6 preset operating modes to cover the most common C and I use cases: general, feed-in, peak shifting, backup, off-grid, and time of use mode. For sites with complex tariff structures, the TOU mode offers a particularly high level of customization. Users can set time intervals of 15, 30, or 60 minutes and configure up to 96 individual time periods, each with its own sub-mode, choosing from general, battery charge, PV charging, feed-in, peak shifting, or battery discharge. This level of granularity means the system can be precisely tuned to the site's tariff schedule, maximizing savings around peak and off-peak pricing throughout the day. All of this is accessible and manageable through the Integ Hub app and the Solinteg monitoring platform, making it straightforward for both installers to configure and end users to monitor. Beyond fixed TOU scheduling, the Solinteg platform also supports dynamic pricing, a feature that's increasingly relevant as more markets move towards real-time electricity tariffs. The system connects to live electricity price data from more than 18 countries, with more being added. Based on this data, it automatically optimizes the battery's charge and discharge behavior in real time, charging when prices are low and discharging when prices are high, without the user needing to manually adjust any settings. For users who prefer more control, custom strategies can also be configured, defining exactly how the system should behave during peak and off-peak pricing periods. Real-time revenue insights are available through the app, giving end users a clear view of how much they're saving. For installers, setup is straightforward. The platform separates basic and advanced settings, so configuration can be as simple or as detailed as the site requires. Now, we have a new operating mode added to the system: feed-in mode. In this mode, the system prioritizes supplying loads first, then feeds any surplus PV power directly to the grid, making it particularly well-suited for sites in markets with favorable feed-in tariffs or high peak export prices, and the system will use the extra power to charge the battery. The battery in feed-in mode is only charged by PV. The left side serves as a quick reminder of the 3 retained modes from the previous generation: general, backup, and off-grid, each following their own priority logic to suit different site requirements. This inverter also supports integration with a growing range of third-party energy management platforms. Whether a customer already has a preferred EMS solution in place, or an installer is working within a larger smart building or energy management ecosystem, our inverter is designed to fit in. Current partners include platforms such as LockZone, Home Assistant, CheckWatt, SmartFox, Solar Manager, and several others across Europe and beyond, with more integrations being added continuously. Now let's move on to Section 3, Compatible Batteries. For customers looking for a complete Solinteg solution, the M2HT25-50K pairs with 2 of our own battery series. The EBR series is an existing rack battery option, offering a wide energy range from 32.2 up to 601 kilowatt-hours for C and I storage needs. Our recommended pairing for the M2HT is the E2BR series. It delivers 157 amps of charge and discharge current, closely matched to the inverter's 150 amp capability, with an energy range of 64 to 112 kilowatt-hours per cluster. Designed specifically for C&I applications, the E2BR offers an optimized balance of performance and system compatibility with the M2HT. Beyond Solinteg's own battery range, the M2HT is also compatible with a wide selection of third-party batteries, including well-known brands such as Pylontech, Dynas, Shoto, WEco, BMZ, Sunwoda, and several others. This gives installers and customers the flexibility to choose a battery solution that best fits their project requirements, budget, or regional availability. For a full and up-to-date compatibility list, please refer to the Solinteg Compatibility List document. That brings us to the end of this training on the Solinteg M2HT25-50K series. We hope this has given you a clear understanding of the product from its core capabilities and application scenarios. If you have any technical questions, feel free to reach out to the Solinteg Academy team at academy@solinteg.com. For sales inquiries, you can contact us at sales@solinteg.com. Thank you for watching, and we look forward to seeing you in the next training.